What's up, everybody? Brett Mix here, Macho Wrestling 101, here for the Raw review. So chill, grab a drink. It's going to be 20 to 30 minutes probably. We're going to go over the Raw results tonight. And from Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee, it looked sold out. The WWE has been getting better at revenue lately, so they might have sold out, even though ratings have gone down. So November 27th, 2023, Bad News Bear and Michael Cole do the call. This game had to go up. This wrestling show had to go up against the game of Monday Night Football between the Bears and the Vikings, which was a defensive battle, 9-3 last I looked, for the Bears on the road. That's if anybody cares about football. It's not my favorite thing, but here we go. The crowd is crazy, and Michael Cole calls it one of the most anticipated Raws in history, and it was. They had an entrance theme for Raw, and it looked new. I'm not sure if it was new or not, but it looked new. And it was a decent song. Pyro went off, and I agree with the YouTuber BC Amplified when he talks about how you need pyro to begin the show, to show the audience this is the place to be. They don't do it enough because even at Survivor Series there was no pyro. So they advertised CM Punk to return tonight. We'll see if the ratings go upward rather than downward, because even in the Attitude Era, it went up from 1 to 2 to 3, and these days it goes down from 3 to 2 to 1 as far as less viewers go. CM Punk is returning tonight, and it was a good thing they said that. They announced that early, not just for ratings, but for when Randy Orton comes out, Seth Rollins comes out, Cody Rhodes comes out. For when they do that, they don't want the crowd chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. So it makes sense why they do that. So it's a good thing they did, because Randy Orton came out with his Voices theme. Randy Orton's pumped up the crowd and all that, and he seemed legitimately jacked and pumped to be back. Fans chant welcome back. Orton goes up and does his pose on the turnbuckles. He explains why he still has a problem with the bloodline. He says the receipts are going to come in the form of an RKO. Women's champion Rhea Ripley comes to the ring, and Cole speaks about it being interesting before she even showed her face. So how did he know to even say that? It's like he has his notes a bit early there. Ripley, or Mommy, says she got upstaged with it. Orton got upstaged with his return, but she took shots at him and says the Judgment Day has risen and the bloodline has fallen. Knight then showed that They showed that at War Games, right, Rhea? The Judgment Day didn't show that they have risen. They lost. But she calls it a bump in the road. So she says if it wasn't for Randy, Damian Priest would be the world championship. So this makes sense. Orton explains why he was there. Ripley talks about the cash-in. It didn't work. Like they're telling a continuance story at least. Not just talking about how, I came for a fight. The mom wants a fight. That's lazy booking. Orton says, guess what? You may talk about Mommy being here, but Daddy's back. And right after he said that, I just knew the fans were going to chant, this is, who's your daddy? Rhea said she tried to warn him, and then from behind, JD McDonough and Dirty Dom attack Orton. Orton's got the DDT on Dom, but then JD runs in and bashes him in the head. So he felt, and then Orton took care of him 1-on-3. So again, this doesn't make the Judgment Day look very strong when one guy attacks three, but Orton's back, right? So you can't discredit Randy Orton being back. You have to make him look strong. They go backstage from earlier tonight, a segment with Tozawa and the people that usually don't get on TV. And R-Truth was funny in this one. He'd be funny in a later segment. Up first, we have a tag team turmoil match, number one contender turmoil match. So the rules of this match are simple, and that is the two teams start in the ring, and then when one gets eliminated, another comes from the back until all teams have come from the back, and then the last team standing is the winners and get a shot at the champions. So this one will take up the better part of hour one, I'm sure. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano in there with DIY to begin. Or DIY. They are DIY. They're in with Tozawa and Otis to win, to start the match. Gargano with the crossbody off the top hits knees to the ribs. Otis comes back as a big man, dropping both guys with the clothesline. Otis sent over the top rope, and Tozawa covered Gargano. The Alpha Academy is eliminated at 3:42. Indus Sher comes to the ring, managed by Jinder Mahal. They're a new team, so I'm sure they'll go over DIY is what I wrote in my notes, but they did not. Veer from Indus. There's a man called Veer, the other one called Sangha from the tag team Indus. He flies through the air. Sangha with a shoulder block, a big boot to Tommaso Ciampa on the outside. Indus, Sangha, and Veer in control. Gargano then rolls up out of nowhere at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and they're gone. Gotta be nice for those two to debut and then have that happen to them. Now the Creed brothers come to the ring. This is a team to watch. Ivy Niles, Julius, and Brutus Creed. I like how they announced mid-match that Orton and Dom will meet tonight. I also like that they haven't gone to a commercial yet. Now entrance themes, pyros, and returns with a match not interrupted by commercials. It's almost like they care. It feels good, man. DIY trying to survive against Brutus Creed, and the two are astute and deliver blows. DIY trying to survive against Brutus Creed, but Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa had already been eliminated. Ciampa with Gargano were in the back while this match was still happening. The other teams were yet to come out because these two still stayed in for a bit, the DIY and Brutus and Julius Creed. There was a double team, a Brutus ball off the top, and Ciampa and Gargano are now eliminated. Just under 10 minutes, still no commercials. The New Day then came out to take on the Creed brothers. They came out in Nashville Predators jerseys, and the fans love that. That's an NHL team for those who don't know. I know hockey isn't a big thing in the States, so I thought I'd mention that. Xavier Woods with shots to the Creed, and Xavier has a leg kick tagged in Kofi. He came out, and then he got down for the near fall, a kick out by Kofi. A nice suplex by Brutus on the second rope, delivers a suplex from the second rope. The first two times the Creed brothers were on Raw, both their appearances, they had great matches, and they went unbeaten. We'll see if that happens tonight. The Creeds with the DDT, and basically they just took care of the New Day. And this is 15 minutes into the tag team turmoil match with no commercials. Amazing. New Day are eliminated at the end after the Brutus ball. That's his Steiner versions of a Frankensteiner from the top. Imperium and Creed, or LOD's Doomsday Device. It's a knockoff with Brutus spinning in midair off the top rope. It's a good move. Imperium and the Creeds are the last two teams. The winner are number one contenders versus the Judgment Day. Only thing is, all three teams are heels, unless the Creeds are faces. I guess maybe they are. Imperium with double team offense, the final fall of the match, and we're 20 minutes in with no commercials. It's almost like they don't want you to turn the channel to the Bears and Vikings for even a second. Brutus and Kaiser take down the Creeds. Kaiser and Vinci takes down the Creeds. I think the Creeds will stay undefeated as they have amazing double team offense. A double shoulder block was hit, a near fall. Fans cheer for the team that reminds us of the Steiner brothers. Gut wrench suplex into a powerbomb. In the end, a big-time performance by these guys. Brutus ball off the top, but Vinci pushed him off the top. The Creeds double-teamed Imperium. A superplex by Julius slipped off the back to the top rope, but still got there, and then hit a superplex. So Julius climbed the back of Imperium to get to the top rope. He slipped, but then he jumped right, showing his agility. He jumped right on the top rope and gave a suplex. And then they had the Brutus ball again, and they get the win at 25 minutes. 3.5 stars for the Creed brothers, staying undefeated and making them number one contenders for the tag titles. So I just love this tag team, the Creed brothers. Backstage, Balor tells Priest that they can't take them lightly by Priest, and he's defensive and paranoid about being pinned, and if the family will forgive him or not. He thought... So, either way, they go to a commercial, and nicely done by WWE, a full half hour of content without a commercial break. I wonder if the trend will continue, I wrote. The American Dreams comes out next. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, comes out next, I meant. He is over. Seeing the crowd cheer and sing his song is pretty cool, I gotta say. Cody thanks every one of his teammates and goes over all the names so each of them get themselves a pop. Orton allowed Cody to get three after all, which Cody points out. He welcomes CM Punk back. Cody declares him as the first person in the Royal Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura then interrupted him on the Titantron and Nakamura was waiting behind Cody and missed him in the air in the face as Cody turned around after the on-screen promo. And he was right, as Cody, after this, Shinsuke, before this, said chaos will come, and he was right after he missed Cody. Back from commercial break, they say Punk's return was the most viewed thing in media and social media history for WWE. Bronson Reed versus Ivar next. Both beefy dudes lock up. Ivar ducks a clothesline off the ropes. Bronson Reed shoulder blocks him. We go to a commercial break, which is forgivable because of the 25-minute tag team turmoil match. Both men were agile for their size. We saw the charge Bronson Reed to the next apron to the outside with a crossbody splash. Back from the break, Ivar and Reed have gone throughout it the time during the break, Cole says. It had taken to him by Bronson Reed, who was chopping Ivar. Cole says whoever wins could find themselves next in the IC title hunt with Gunther, who has the longest reign in history. Ivar hit a Samoan drop and then a big senton by Bronson Reed. I was going to call him Brodus Clay. Bronson Reed. Close near falls as Ivar kicked out. Van Halla on the outside was distracting Bronson Reed. Reed throws Ivar over the barricade wall, a boot to the face, and a suplex attempt. Both guys brawling on the outside. Ivar on the barricade picked up over Bronson Reed's shoulders, and a Death Valley driver into the barricade. It's a double count out at 8 minutes and 12 seconds. The match was over, but both guys continued to battle afterwards. It was a hard-hitting match between two power wrestlers that got a decent amount of time on Raw, so I gave it 2.5 stars. It was quality while it was on. As said, both men continued to brawl, and then Ivar climbs up to the top with a cannonball off the top of the stage equipment. The carts he climbed up and then hit Bronson Reed with that. Amazing bump there. Baszler told Stark she wants another shot. Nia Jax then told them to shut up. Stark steals Lynch's line that she's looking for a fight. Nia Jax says, perfect, that's just what she wants. So she comes to the ring for the match for Stark. And it should be interesting to see who they put over here. Backstage, R-Truth is eating jelly rolls in the Judgment Day's locker room. And they look legit mad that he wanted to be their 5th member for Survivor Series. Priest said, truth. Survivor Series is over. Priest, and then R-Truth goes, what, did you guys win? And the crowd laughed. Hilarious. Priest says, you better just go now. Thanks for the reminder, he said. I knew that Judgment Day was going to lose at Survivor Series. I did go perfect in my predictions. Not that it's a big deal. Some of you did too, I bet, because it was just 5 out of 5 matches. But I think they've done enough to save face this night. They've owned it. Then they're moving on. And, I was worried about the Judgment Day. I thought they were just going to talk about how they're the most dominant. I mean, Rhea still uses that line, but I thought all the members were going to talk about how great the Judgment Day are. But no, they owned the loss. They ate it, and they look better for it in the long run. Might not be the best heel thing to do, but it's at least respect and logic. Backstage, R-Truth had a couple of funny segments tonight, and not just that jelly one. Next up, we had Zoe Stark versus Nia Jax. I can't tell you with Stark if she's confident or not. She looks like she is, but then comes off sometimes as not quite sure. I'd know a thing or two about that. It's only human nature to be like that, though. But that's the true greats. You just see them, and at all times they look top notch. So that's why Stone Cold in 1997 took off, because he never at one spot for a millisecond in any match looked like he wasn't a big deal. Zoe Stark needs to tap into that. They had Nia Jax had a very good match with Raquel Rodriguez a week or so before. We'll see how this one goes. Stark off the top falls on Jax. These ladies had to wait till another commercial break and a backstage segment before they could even wrestle to get cut off. I mean, I understand why, but it sucks to be them. Nia Jax regains control of the match during the commercial, says Cole. Stark fought back with a corkscrew senton, and then Jax ran into the shoulder first, into the post. Jax kept kicking out of Stark's offense. She clobbered away at her and hit a thrust kick. Zoe goes up top in the end, and Jax hits the ropes, having her drop. Jax then hits Stark with a Samoan drop. Jax then, with a senton of her own, she drags Stark to the corner of the ring for the Annihilator. Shark jobs to Jax at TV time of 7 minutes and 45 seconds, including the commercial time that ran. So it sucks to be Zoe Stark. She goes from potentially being able to take the women's title at Survivor Series to losing to Nia Jax flat on her back 7 minutes on Raw. I gave the match a star and 3/4. They show a replay of Gunther and The Miz's IC title match at Survivor Series. Gunther is then mad at Imperium for losing, and they promise that they'll get it done next week. Gunther turns around, and Miz is there with his shades on and a suit. He says his opponents to challenge him, he says, is right here. Gunther says Miz belongs in the ring, but not with him. The crowd chant along with Rollins. It's so contrived at this point. I get Bridgestone, Nashville wanted to come have fun, just like they do with the What Chants. They all want to have fun when they're there, but on TV, it just sucks. And even the same people that are going, Seth Rollins music, those same people, as funny enough as it is, those same people are the ones that are typing on the keyboard saying, oh, that chant sucks. But they do it when they're live because it's fun to interact with the crowd when you're live. So that's why the What Chants lasted as long as they did and have still lasted to this day. But if you notice, Austin will never be the one to say what. He'll always try to cut it out. Ever since early 2002, he hasn't said what. He plays along with it and goes, I was going to the bar, I want drinks. Like he does that kind of thing. But he never says what. Anyway, just go off on a monologue there. Now, the crowd started to chant the song for Rollins. As I mentioned, it's contrived. Rollins has the crowd sing his song for the umpteenth time. He says, welcome to Monday Night Rollins. I wouldn't mind if Seth turned. There's a lot of faces on the brand. I just think Seth's a better heel. Fans chant CM Punk at Rollins. He calls him a hypocrite and says that his title is the most prestigious in history. He says Seth Rollins says that his title is the most important title in the industry right now. I can't tell if he's being serious with Gunther's record IC title reign, and that alone would make it better. And Roman Reigns, his title reign. Then there's Io Sky, Rhea Ripley that have an argument, but Rollins, yeah, he's put on some good matches. I'll say that. But the most prestigious title in the history of the industry, come on. Maybe not the history of the industry, but the most important title in the industry, come on. Fans chant CM Punk, as I mentioned, and he says, go ahead, get it all off your chests. We don't want to talk about someone that doesn't matter. Then Seth gets interrupted by Drew McIntyre. I still can't get over Rollins saying Punk doesn't matter. That's why that's the most viewed video and the reason why Raw was so anticipated. McIntyre and Rollins come off as jealous punks, no pun intended. Punk, get it. They both can't stand CM Punk as if they're whether it's a shoot or a work shoot or just a work. It doesn't matter. They need to realize that they're not the be-all, end-all. Drew and Seth. Drew talks about the most important thing is the title. Well, he's far away after his losses. Drew McIntyre then gets personal, telling Rollins he's got the biggest shark of all. Now, does Drew deserve a rematch after losing over and over? No. Thankfully, Rollins says next week he will be defending the world title on Raw. And it's going to be against Jey Uso, which makes Drew flip out on him and attack him. Zayn backstage tells McIntyre he's not the only one who's been going through the issues he has. McIntyre says, then gets a talking to backstage by Zayn in a good promo. He says he's going to get a match next week with him. That's what Drew said to Zayn. Tegan Nox and Natalya took on Piper Niven and Chelsea Green for the tag titles. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven defending their titles for the first time since ever. I hate how they have to announce Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green! I mean, just because she talks that way? That would be like the Fink, Howard Finkel, announcing the Ultimate Warrior like this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ultimate Warrior. You get the picture. It makes no sense. Natalya tried an early sharpshooter on Chelsea, who tags Piper Niven in. Piper Niven shoulder first into the turnbuckle. Knox came in with a jawbreaker and a kick to the head. Natalya with a crossbody and a commercial break. Knox with a headbutt to Chelsea and almost pinned her. Saving the titles was Knox that time, the chance at the titles. Victory roll, then a code breaker held on. Piper Niven ran in, crushing Knox until Natalya saved it. Natalya thrown out of the ring by Piper Niven, who then hits a cannonball off the apron to Natalya and Knox. And then a double vertical suplex into the barricade. Piper Niven with a flying crossbody, and they retained their titles in 6 minutes and change. I gave that ladies' take match 2 stars. Orton says he's good with Jey Uso as long as he's out of the bloodline. Becky has a promo with Jackie Redmond. She has to get a cheap pop every time she's out there. She talks about even if it's small, she still has to say the city name. She has to take her husband's tricks. Seth Rollins, always mentioning the city. Or looking for a fight. I'm not the biggest Becky fan on the mic, of them on. She's great in the ring, though. Next up, we had our main event, match-wise. Orton versus Dirty Dom with Mommy and JD McDonough. Neck brace McDonough. I knew this Who's Your Daddy thing was going to be big, so that's what we heard in the main event. Shoulder blocks to Dom, who hasn't missed a step. Orton with a suplex attempt on the last, but landed on his feet. Orton sets up Dominic through the table, but it didn't break after 1 or 2 of his signature moves in the ring. Orton then goes to hit him, and it still didn't give through the table. McDonough then DDT'd him. Dom then hits a 619 frog splash on Dominic. Nobody home. He runs into an RKO, leaving it there for the 3. Then a lot of Judgment Day jobbing over and over. They're supposed to be a dominant heel faction, but they're jobbing. Of course, Orton's got to win his first match, though, so no complaints on who won the match. Decent, but it didn't do a whole lot in time restrictions, so it didn't go 10 minutes, even though it wasn't much of a match. I rate it 1.75, a star and 3/4. Then the show ends with CM Punk, the most anticipated return. CM Punk comes to the ring to a huge pop. He says hell froze over, and he makes a joke about how he's a Blackhawks fan in a Predators barn, which is good stuff because they're rivals. CM Punk says the truth is I'm home, and the Blackhawks used to beat the Predators all the time, so that's another reason they booed it. He thanks the crowd for chanting his name for the last 10 years. He loves the audience and said he would come back from the crowd. He says his wife AJ sends her regards. Gotta wonder if she can make a comeback. And almost everybody welcomed him back. Punk says that people are afraid that he has the brass ring, and he is here to take it, my friends. Just money. The show goes off the air with Punk saying, I'm back. Gotta be honest, it's great he's back, and it's great to see what he said about the fans, but the segment was a little bit of a letdown. They just don't want to give too much away, though, yet. I get it. There's a cliffhanger for next week. Somebody will interrupt him. Maybe it'll be Seth freaking Rollins. And so, that does it for Raw. So the WWE had a chance to do something big and capitalize on a good show tonight. How did they do? Overall, taking everything into account, I gave this Raw a 6 out of 10. Keep in mind, my ratings for Raw the past few weeks have been 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10, and so on. Even the Attitude Era would get a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for me. I have high standards for shows. That way, when you get an amazing, amazing, amazing show and you rate it 9 out of 10, it's not the same as the other great 9 out of 10s that should be 7 out of 10. That's why the rating system is strict for me. Overall, this episode had a great tag team turmoil match. Had a good promo from Drew, Seth, Sammy, Gunther, Cody, Miz. Their progression all had meaningful moments. Nakamura spitting the spit. A funny R-Truth segment backstage. The Judgment Day owning their loss and looking bad. Randy Orton's comeback promo with Rhea. Then a good Ivar Bronson match with a couple other decent ladies matches. And CM Punk. So CM Punk's back. There's a cliffhanger about what he's going to do. Cody's in the Royal Rumble. He's announced that. A lot of stuff to look forward to for the WWE. So good job for the Raw tonight. It was probably the best Raw in at least a couple months. So good job, not just for CM Punk's anticipation, but good job to the WWE for their show tonight. To Triple H, whoever is doing the head booking. It was logical. It continued stories. And it wasn't bad overall. I like that they're I didn't like it at the time when Punk's words didn't do much, but now I know they're saving it for the future, so I like it after all. I'm Brett Mix. Thanks for watching the Raw review, and I am out.